Welcome to businesstraining.com and our video module on warning signs in hiring. This is our agenda for the video topic today. Please take a moment to review the outline. Interviewing candidates is just one of the major parts of recruiters' job. Interviewing can often be a long and arduous process, potentially interviewing dozens of candidates. Therefore, a recruiter's time is valuable, especially in regards to interviewing. There may be plenty of candidates who look great on paper according to their resume. However, you can never be too sure on how much is true. There are, of course, warning signs to look for during the interview process that will help weed out the bad candidates who may be padding the paper and trying to make themselves look better than they are. These warning signs will help steer you away from risky candidates and reduce the hiring pool and focus your attention on the higher performing individuals. The first warning sign for a recruiter is appearance. This one is easy. If the interviewee shows up in improper interview attire, that should give you a clear indication to stay away. Though overalls and miniskirts are clearly inappropriate attire, keep in mind the interviewee may be attempting to dress appropriately for an interview based on their wardrobe. So while a t-shirt of an anecdotal cat with a spaghetti stain is a no-go, a short-sleeve button-up shirt tucked into some slacks is not a turn-down. The next red flag is to look for the candidate's knowledge of the company. If an interviewee shows up not knowing anything about the company, who their competitors are, the scope of their business, then why are they there? The warning sign indicates no initiative and no interest in the company on the interviewee's part, and the same will likely happen in their job as well. An interviewee may withhold information during the interview process. Recruiters and interviewers must be aware of what the candidate is saying and what they are not saying. Pay close attention when the candidate does not explain gaps in their resume and why they never finished school or why they are applying for the company. They may give you an open-ended, vague answer or avoid answering altogether. This should cause you to ask what they are hiding and are they really qualified or are they trying to make themselves sound better. Also be wary in candidates who cannot prove their abilities. They may say they are a great leader, a great problem solver, or committed to their work, but they cannot back it up. How are they a great leader with no leadership experience? How are they committed to their work when they stayed at their last company less than a year? Attempt to find how things get done or concrete proof of results from their answers such as, I increased reporting of software errors by 67%. Look for substantial or quantitative answers. This sign may take a little digging to find out whether they truly cannot prove their abilities or they just need some goading to get the real answer out of them. If your questions catch them off guard, that should send up a red flag. If you are asking qualifying questions or behavioral questions during the interview, and they cannot understand or articulate a response, they may be trying to throw up a smokescreen response and not truly have the experience you are looking for. Again, this ties into being able to approve their abilities. A well-prepared candidate should be prepared and anticipate most of the questions asked from an interviewer. The candidate needs to be able to back their unique strengths with descriptions and specific examples. If a candidate looks you in the eye and gives an immediate, confident response, you should probably forward his or her name to the hiring manager. Another red flag is when candidates have no weaknesses. When asked, what is your greatest weakness, and they do not admit having a weakness or state that they work too hard, this is a fluff response. This means that they have not taken the time to really understand their deficiencies as a worker. A great candidate will be able to understand and identify their deficiencies and weaknesses and explain how they are planning on improving or fixing them. Avoid the candidate who has no areas to improve or keeps all his skills at top level. On the flip side, also avoid candidates who share too much information. You want someone who can admit their weaknesses and identify how they are working to improve it. Avoid candidates who cannot tell you the most crucial function of their current or last position. High performers should be able to understand how their position fits in the greater scope of the corporate picture. A response of, I oversee and address all product software issues, may sound pretty, but does not clearly indicate an understanding of why it is most crucial. Dig further. If they say, because if I don't do it, I could lose my job, or it's part of the job description, steer clear. If they say something to the effect of, it helps the company maintain a competitive edge over companies by identifying flaws and deficiencies early on, then move them to the next round. When a candidate says that their current company does not offer enough room for growth, be wary. This is often a euphemism for, I want to make more money and they won't give me a raise. Ask the candidate to define what growth opportunities he or she is looking for. If the response is objective and in relation to what he or she can do for the company, they are being honest. You want a candidate who wants continual improvement for increasing responsibility and recognition to help improve the organization, not someone out to make a few more bucks and jump ship if they do not get it. If an interviewee does not know why they want to work for you, there is no point in hiring them. No response or unclear responses, or simply saying, I really want to work for your company, indicates they do not intend on staying at your company long term. They are simply looking for a paycheck until something better comes along. They should be able to identify the major players in the industry and what sets a company apart from others. Avoid superficial answers. You want something substantial. Of course, you want an employee who wants to work for your company because they believe in the company's vision of community outreach, green industry standards, and diversity while staying a leader in the industry in product innovation. You don't want the one who says they want to work for you because they know the offices are big and that there is plenty of flex time. When it comes to references, take a look at the references that the candidate is offering. Are they mostly peers? Are they not even coworkers? An interviewee should provide at least 1 to 2 managers or senior personnel above them. If the references are not the company that they are currently working for, that is a big flag. That may indicate that they are shopping around for a job without telling their company. What would stop them from doing it to you? Also take a look at what the references are saying. If they cannot offer specific details on job performance, or if they do not know that they are references, you may be in trouble. What are they saying about the candidate? A hard worker or good guy is not adequate. Have them explain in detail the candidate's work ethic, ability to work with others, among other things. Does a resume indicate that they are heavy job hoppers? Nowadays, it is not as much of a stigma to job hop. However, you must pay close attention to the frequency of jobs, length of time at each job, and the types of jobs. Obviously, avoid someone who has had many jobs for short periods of time in many industries. This could mean that they can't hold a job or indicate poor performance. You want to avoid potential no-shows and tardiness. What is the industry standard for holding a job position for your company? Is it 8 months, such as in the fast food industry? 2 years? Use this as a base metric. The candidate's resume may look great, but an omission of dates is something to pay attention to as well. Again, this is withholding information. If you get the sense that the candidate has a bad or negative attitude, this will cause problems later on. Avoid these people, even if they have a great work history and you feel that they could do the job well. It isn't worth the headache, and it's a waste of time and resources. Make sure that you check with references to see how their attitude was at their previous jobs. Avoid gossips. You may not be able to gather this from the interview, but more from the references. You can ask a candidate about past relationships with their bosses and coworkers and really listen to their responses. It may have an underlying indication that the person is a gossip. Complainers and gossipers spread negative attitudes in the workplace. They are always worrying about what others are doing and not themselves, and justify their poor actions by blaming the faults of others. They generate bad feelings with coworkers and create a division in the workplace and a lazy atmosphere. Avoid them. Lastly, know-it-alls. Avoid these candidates as they are troublemakers and do not like to follow policies and procedures. They defy authority and disrespect the boss. They think they know more than the boss and want to do everything their own way, which causes disruption, problems, and breakdowns. To find out about know-it-alls, ask about the candidate's view on different policies from their previous jobs and ask for references how the candidate followed policies and procedures. No one wants to hire someone who isn't a team player. Recruiters' jobs are important in building the force of the workplace, and their time is valuable. Following a few simple guidelines and looking for some warning signs will avoid costly mistakes in hiring and increase your potential in finding the high performers for the company. Thank you once again for your time and attention, and this is businesstraining.com, where you can earn a master's level qualification to make more money.